Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. That's right, y'all. And I'm back. Uh-huh. And, oh, well, look at that. I got a notification. Oh, well, look at that. I got a notification. Oh, well, look at that. The screen looks funny, though. That's the funny part about it. Yeah, I look stretched out for some reason. I don't get it. Who knows? Who knows what could be the problem when it comes down to YouTube? But it is what it is. All right. As long as y'all can see me, for the most part, we can go ahead and start rapping a little bit. I see some people logging on. That's right. I'm a little late. Got to manage getting sleep and, of course, being able to put stuff together. So I want to jump right in. That's what I want to do. I don't want to tarry. I don't want to delay. I need to go ahead and get this done and get it out the way because I got to go to work tonight. That's why. So with no further ado, let me know. Y'all can hear me? You can see me, right? Because if you can see me, I got to get busy. And with that being said, I'm going to even skip my intro because this is a DEFCON 5. This is a serious situation. Yeah, man. We out there in California going crazy. Not us, but I'm just saying we figuratively. There's people out there going crazy. So we got to go ahead and get busy, man. Ain't no time to be shucking and jiving and pooting and farting around. We got to talk about what's going on out there. So let's go ahead and see what's happening because it seems like California has fallen. Let's see.
If you haven't had the chance to see the magnificence, the beauty of our great state, it's time to visit California.
Are you sure?
Breaking news out of Los Angeles, where the FBI says it is investigating clashes between law enforcement and demonstrators. These clashes began Friday when crowds gathered around federal law enforcement officers carrying out immigration raids in that area. And today, right now, we're seeing police using tear gas and flashbangs to clear the crowds.
Now, see, this is a perfect example, guys, of these wild, crazy paid protesters taking advantage of the fact that they're allegedly citizens here because they know that in mass numbers, as they attack and agitate and throw stuff at authorities, that authorities aren't going to just, number one, start shooting them. See, this is one of those, I'm overconfident that I'm not going to catch a bullet in the butt because there's so many of us and we're under the umbrella of protesters, not just straight violent attackers of the authorities or police or whatever. In almost any other application, if the cops are doing something, making an arrest, and somebody comes up and starts throwing stuff at them or attacking them, the cop can defend himself because who knows what you're throwing at him? Who knows what you're throwing at them? But these people know that all these cameras are on them, and they know that by doing this, we come out with our faces covered. Now, my question is, why are you guys wearing masks? We've been hearing the Democrats whine all these days. Why do ICE get to wear masks? Why are they covering their faces? They need to be shown who's behind those masks and stuff. But yet, all of these agitators and protesters, they're out there wearing masks. And I'm saying nobody's asking, what's your involvement in this, and why are you coming out with a mask on? You're in California. It's not cold. It's not cold. Why are you rocking this mask? COVID's over. So you must be rocking the mask because you want to be some type of agitator and don't want your face being shown on TV. You got bad intentions if you roll out there with a mask on talking about, I'm here to protest. Protesters should want to be seen while you're walking around peacefully with a sign in your hand talking about, we shall overcome. But you don't seem like you want that type of protest when you come out with a mask. So now they're all out there throwing stuff at the authorities, and they know that most likely, because we're in mass numbers, number one, we're not going to be individually grabbed, thrown on the ground, handcuffed, and thrown in the back of a paddy wagon. And number two, most likely, these authorities aren't going to put a bullet in our butt. So they're wilding out because they know there's that safety net right in there. But they could be wrong. I think their calculation on this could be wrong. But let's continue because here's some people out in California, they're whining. They're whining because ICE came out there to do their job by removing these illegal immigrants. And of course, we know these folks right here, I don't think they're all organic. I don't think they're out there just because they were sitting around the TV and was like, whoa, what's going on down there? I got a good feeling maybe these folks might be encouraged to go and might have some incentive to go and do these things through some financial means. I'm just wondering. I'm always concerned when these protesters show up and they commit acts like this.
Free them all! Free them all! Free them all!
Free them all. Free them all. See, this is the type of approach that the Democrats have. Free them all. Yeah, we don't need to know about their history. We don't even need to know why they're being arrested. We're just coming in straight up like free them all. That's exactly the model of the whole left and the Democrat Party. They would prefer that every single illegal immigrant that came across that border gets to stay in our country. Free them all. Forget the background. Forget, their criminal history. Forget all of that. We don't need to do no vetting. We don't even need to know why ICE is arresting these people, what they've done. Free them all. Free them all. I tell you, man, sometimes when I watch stuff like this, it makes me want to say, you know what? Let's just grab all of the worst and shove them all in California. We should just come out and say, listen up. If you're an illegal immigrant in this country, we're coming after you. Unless you guys want to go to California. Round all of them up. Every single one of them. All 11 million plus of them. And say, let's all dump them right in California. And see if they all be like, free them all. Free them all. Yeah. Say, look, y'all stepped one toe out of California. We're arresting you. We're deporting you. Set up a perimeter right around California. A perimeter of National Guardsmen doing a little checkpoint. And you come over here, you cross the border. We're throwing you back in your own country or whatever. And see how California manages all of them since they claim they want to free them all.
Because the attack on one of us is the attack on all of us.
See, you're reading the script? Because if an attack on one of us is an attack on all of us. Are you an illegal immigrant, lady? Are you a gangbanger? Huh? Are you a criminal? What are you talking about? Why are you immediately throwing yourself in the same bucket as people who shouldn't be in the country? So I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, if I see the man roll up on a couple bank robbers, I ain't gonna jump out my car like, hey man, let them cats go. An attack on one of them is attack on me. And they'd be like, well, are you down with the posse, brother? Are you a part of this bank robbing crew? Are you a part of this the dynamics, huh? Are you a part of Point Break? I don't need to be jumping out trying to defend these guys. They broke the law. Yeah, are you a part of Heat? Yeah, I don't want to be a part of that crew. So I have nothing in common with criminals. This lady, free them all. So attack on one of us, attack on all of us. Then, what, are you a part of that crew? Well, I tell you what, if you want to go ahead and jump out there and start getting in the way of police and getting in the way of ICE and stuff, you can get arrested with them. You can get arrested with them. Let's continue.
And Los Angeles does not back down for that kind of fight.
Continue fighting until we reconstruct every single institution.
See, anarchists. I mean, I'm telling you, liberals are the most dangerous group of people to the way of life in America. If it was up to them, they would tear this sucker down. Every institution. See, this is the radical left, but I'm telling you right now, all of these clips can be used against them. California is a perfect example of what not to do. Now, I want to stop while it's on my mind and thank somebody. Mary, if you're watching, thank you so much. Mary stepped in and sent me something in the mail that came through right on time. And I want to say, Mary, God bless you, sister. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. Tell Martha not to moan. Yeah, man. So thank you very much. I don't want to go one more minute without saying thank you. Now, getting back to these folks. If you leave it up to them, they will destroy the whole country. They look at the whole way America functions, our constitution, our institutions, and they say, you know what? We want anarchy. We want to flip that mess upside down. That's right. Every part of it. Let's tear it down. These are the real Marxists. These are the real dangerous people, and they're all supportive of the Democrat Party, but they're also a manifestation of the policies and the rhetoric of the Democrat Party. They have created these type of liberals. They feel comfortable operating under the Democrat Party umbrella. Coming out saying stuff like this. But see, long as they continue to do that, all we need to do is keep saying, hey, you want the rest of the country to look like this? Let's see if we want America to look like Cali in the next 3 or 4 years.
From the ground up so that we can grant full amnesty for all immigrants. Demand.
There it is. Full amnesty for all illegal immigrants. Who do these people think they are, man? Forget what the rest of the country has spoken and said. We want these folks getting deported. But no, not these people. Amnesty for all illegal immigrants. When does that stop? See, that's my question. People like this have no governor. They don't have any limit. So I guess you just want as many illegal immigrants, not only to have amnesty, but if you leave it up to people like this, you think they want to shut that border down? You think they want border patrol? Nope. They want all of these folks to come up in this bad boy, as many as they can. So we might as well go ahead and just absorb South America into America, according to this guy.
Full compensation for all of the victims of this criminal injustice system.
Now you see these dummies? Yes, that's right. Continue to talk and reveal the mind of the dumb liberal, the mind of the radical, the mind of the extreme leftist. There you go, compensation for all of them.
Going to change this is organizing, and not just any type of organizing, militant organizing.
Militant organizing. So they want some drama. You hear that? But yet you will hear the fake news, and you will hear all of the Democrat politicians come out and say these are all mostly peaceful protesters. And the real danger, the real violence is on the right. On the right. They're the ones that's stirring up all the trouble. Are you kidding me? I mean, all the time, like we expected this. Soon as Trump won and he said he's going to do mass deportations, I was like, yo, brace for impact. Because you already know what's going to happen. You know what? Let's send out all of our crazy, radical, Antifian protesters. So this guy's talking about getting physical. He's getting physical. I think this dude wants some drama. He don't look like he's built for drama. He looks like he's built to play the part of the Pillsbury Doughboy. That's what he looks like. I'm here to audition for the part of the Pillsbury Doughboy. That's what he looks like. But he's talking about getting physical.
Won't that be fun?
We are going to fight for all Angelenos.
Who? All Angelenos? Well, if that's the case, you'll be fighting to get all of these illegal immigrants out of Los Angeles. But no. If that was the case, you would have been here when Angelenos were burning because of those wildfires you was out in Africa chilling with while they were taking place. Yeah, that's what it is. But here she is. We'll fight for all Angelenos, not Americans. Not Americans, Angelenos. Basically, anybody who made it to Los Angeles, regardless of your status, your citizenship status, we're going to take you. We're going to take you. These people right here are responsible for this. They're harboring criminals. That's what they're doing. They're fighting to keep all of these illegal immigrants, hidden and covered. Don't forget, these are the same people who wanted to Trump-proof California. Yeah, while Cali was burning, they were coming up with millions of dollars to Trump-proof, California from coming in there and taking their precious illegal immigrants and sending them out of there. The worst mayor, besides Brandon Johnson, these two are tied. Neck and neck. I'm pretty sure there's a couple more I could throw in there too. But let's continue though, because they're trying to protect all of these Angelenos and stuff like that.
Regardless of when they got here, whether they have papers or not.
You see? All right. All of the rest of America, this is what you would get if Gavin Newsom became president. Any of these crazy Democrat liberals, if they become president, this is what you get, regardless of when they got here, regardless of their citizenship status or not. Anarchy. This right here shows that these folks are willing to put, boots on the ground to protect illegal immigrants. Illegal immigrants. This is unbelievable to me. Unbelievable. They need to be arrested. We saw you on TV saying you're going to protect all these people, and we're coming in for them. Let's continue.
We are a city of immigrants.
Oh, God. We are a city of immigrants. Illegal immigrants? Illegal immigrants, that's what you're talking about? Because you can't be talking about American citizens. Unless you're talking about American citizens who went through the process the right way. They're always talking about the process. It's the process. But they don't care about the process when it comes down to coming into the country. So why don't you worry about the process of coming in here the right way? Go through the right way. You get here, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Then you can be labeled as an American citizen. But no, according to her, yeah, forget the process, how you got here, whether you're legal or illegal. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Once you make your way to California and to Los Angeles, we got you. We got you. So they got the Underground Railroad going, y'all, to bring these folks out to, California or LA, and we got you. Just get here to the promised land. Let's continue.
This impact hundreds of thousands of Angelenos.
No, it doesn't. And if it does, it impacts them in a negative way. What are you talking about? Impacts hundreds of thousands of Angelenos. Man, I'm telling you right now, I would love to see all of the common sense Americans leave California so that somebody can drop a big fat water balloon filled with urine all over the rest of California. One big water balloon filled with urine. Yeah, urine that's been sitting around marinating for about 8 months, and just pop that bad boy all over LA, all over California. Yeah, like the final warning to, the rest of the Californians to get out of there, y'all. It's gonna rain, but it ain't raining down regular rain. That's too good. That's good. That's too good. It got to be raining down nothing but urine, pure essence of urine all over these folks right here. Unbelievable that she's up here talking about, I thought we got to make sure we protect all of them. This impacts all of Californians. Going, what are you talking about, chick? Look with your Florida Evans afro. Go cut that mess off or grow it out. One or the other. You're in between. You ain't got a fade, but you ain't got a perm. You just got a little tight afro. Dang on it. Let's continue.
People on the side, as Karen Bass, are threatening ICE agents, spray painting death to ICE on dumpsters.
There you go. That's the type of anarchy. But remember, guys, it's folks on the right. It's folks on the right who are the most violent folks, y'all. We're the anarchists, right? So death to ICE. Where's the cameras? I bet you CNN don't want to videotape that. They don't want to show that, right? So let's see more about these mostly peaceful protesters going on out there.
Gavin Newsom also weighing in on the riots and blamed them on, get this, President Trump, accusing him of tearing families apart.
You see? Now you see why Gavin the Nuisance will never be president? You see how dangerous these folks are to our country as they give these people the green light again. Now you would think they would learn from the summer of love. You would think they would learn from all of the backlash that they receive as we put together montage after montage years ago when they were out there. Brent, I want to be clear, these are mostly peaceful protests. And we put together montage of all of these people in the background burning stuff, looting, violence, and stuff like that. While all these Democrats gave us wonderful footage and sound bites of them defending these so-called mostly peaceful protests that ended in billions and trillions of dollars worth of damage, folks being killed, violence, all of this stuff. And they're doing it again. And CNN is helping them, along with the rest of the media, by acting as if what Gavin Newsom just said makes sense. That's what it is. It's Trump, because he's tearing these families apart. Yeah, and so other citizens got to get involved. People don't care enough about other people like that to get involved for free. Yeah, you cannot pay me enough if I go, well, what did these people do? Are they in trouble? Did they break the law? They did? You know what? I think I should go down there and risk getting thrown in jail for nothing, because I just care about them. I'm willing to go down there and risk getting thrown in a slammer. I'm willing to risk getting the cops breaking my arms because I'm out there trying to fight for people I don't even know. I don't know what they did, unless somebody's giving me some type of motivation to go down there and do that, which my gut tells me when you see agitators like this come out of nowhere, they remind me of Antifa. Mask on. Look at all these folks right there lined up with masks and all of that stuff. Why? Why are they all coming with masks? That's my question. So let's continue though.
I also want to bring in now CNN senior national security analyst Julia Kayem. Julia, if you're with me, you just heard Julia there describing the scene, but from the images that we've been putting on our air so far, what stands out to you at the moment?
So there's unrest. Let's start with there's protest, lawful.
Oh, you see that? See how she got to, carefully pick her words. Let's start with there's unrest. I'm sorry, my fault. Let me start with this protest, which they're logically, constitutionally able to do. Yeah, you had it right the first time. But instead of using unrest, just say violence. Violence. Yeah, keep it real. Use the correct term. Well, there's violence, there's looting, there's anarchy.
Protest, which is allowed in this country. There is some unrest.
There is some unrest.
Yeah, just some. That's what they call it. See, remember, they like to soften the tone and the terms when it comes down to their radicals. There it is, just some unrest. Yeah, but if this was us, it would be, there's an insurrection. That's what that is. It's a full-blown insurrection.
Let's just take a look.
Yes, let's do. Oh, that's unrest? Huh. Looks to me like violence. There you go. Wow, look at that. Oh, how about another one? Here we go. Yeah. Now, do that look like just a little bit of unrest? Man, I hope they go back through with all these cameras and all of that stuff, just like they did with J6. Use all the facial recognition. I want them to zoom in on anything they can to identify that guy with those eggs. Even if it's something on a zoom in, right there. You see his helmet? You see his helmet? Okay, now, right there, shrink that, blow it up right there. All right, it says he bought that helmet from this place. Let's go to this place, find out if we can track that helmet right. Somehow get that guy, get the egg guy, so he can have egg on his face when they throw him in a slammer. Or look at these dummies. Look at these dummies.
Situation continues to just unravel here.
Just a little unrest.
We're bringing you live pictures. This is Josh Haskell with ABC 7 Eyewitness News of protesters literally trying to stop this bus with their own hands.
Stop the bus with their own hands, guys.
There is some unrest.
That's all that is. Relax, calm down. There's nothing to see here, people. Just a little bit of unrest. Yeah, there it is, like tossing and turning. That's all that is. Boy, you know what? I can't sleep, but I'm also, not really awake. I'm kind of in between. I'm just unrest. Just a little unrest. There you go. So that's their term. That's the way they want to present this. It's just a little unrest. That's right. Burn down LA. Start all these fires. Now, we just got done watching LA burn. But these folks right out here are starting fires. Now, what does that have to do with protesting? That's my question. See, but yet these dumb politicians are trying to gaslight us again by saying nothing to see here. This isn't a problem. Only reason these people are doing this is because of Trump. He's agitating them. Yeah, he, for whatever reason, is arresting illegal immigrants, and now all of these regular citizens love illegal immigrants so much that they had to come out and say, let's start burning stuff, throwing stuff at ICE, agitating the police, looting, rioting, all of these things, just because they want to protect these illegal immigrants. Or these people are part of a coordinated effort to send out agitators somehow. I knew I saw a shadow in the background. I'm like, what was that? She's walking in front of my light. That's who. Can't say her name, though. I can't say her name because she'll be all up there in my lap like, hey, pick me up. All right, but yeah, so apparently all these people just love these illegal immigrants that much where they're coming out willing to cause violence and burn up stuff for them just to protect them for free. Yeah, how many of y'all would come out and do something like this for free when it ain't got nothing to do with you? Any other application, when criminals are being detained or arrested, people stay out of it. Yeah, you don't see it on the news out there. 5 people were arrested today, and people in the neighborhood came down to protest them being arrested. Doesn't happen. unless you're an illegal immigrant for some reason. Then all of a sudden, I guess society wants to protect you. So I said, I'll go for free. Look at that. Wait a minute. Did I just see the Mexican flag? Last I checked, this was America, man. Greatest country on the planet. But yet these people are rocking, the Mexican flag. How do you like that? There you go. That's an image for you right there, y'all. This is who the Democrats are supporting because they want to protect all Angelinos and stuff like that. Or apparently they want to protect all Mexicanos because they're rocking the Mexican flag for some reason in America, but don't want to get deported back to Mexico. Isn't that kind of odd?
This is brand new.
Yeah, there you go. Let me be on foreign land with America's flag talking about don't send me back to America. How do you think that'll fly? See, if I'm that proud of America and I got our flag and I'm up in Russia, I'm up in some foreign country talking about you ain't sending me back home with the American flag, they will probably assume that I want to go back to America. Most likely, since I love America that much and I'm rocking the American flag, you obviously want to go back there, right? But according to these people, don't send us back there. We just want to rock our flag on your grounds, in your country, while the Democrats are supporting all of this. Now the Democrats should be offended. They should be looking at this and saying, man, this right here is offensive. This right here is crazy. This is our country. But we're going to go ahead and, in a sense, encourage these people by not checking them, by not calling that out, by not bringing out the fact that this looks like we are completely being invaded. When you come up in here with your flag, standing on top of stuff, throwing stuff at our police, throwing stuff at ICE, while rocking your flag, that looks like an invasion to me. But Trump shouldn't call in the National Guard for that, though. No. Yeah, what if they were all rocking Iranian flags? Well, the Democrats wouldn't care. You pretty much could come to any of their cities or states and bring your flag and, burn up our flag, piss on our flag, do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Yeah, they'll support you. They'll back you because they hate our country anyway.
News truck that we just got. Looks like the tires were slashed. They busted into the windows. I'll see. Our personal bags were in the car. They stole all the stuff that was inside. There are some things here. Looks like they took cinder blocks through the window.
I say that's the California way.
Absolutely. It's the California way. Yeah, this bum right here, this snake in the grass, we're talking about I say that's the California way. So let's continue though, watching how California has burned. Look at that. That's the California way, y'all. Look at that. But those are mostly peaceful. All anarchists out there with their faces wrapped up. Now, you knew they were saving Antifa for moments just like this. Yeah, man. You're coming out there with your face all bandaged up and wrapped up. And I'm saying immediately you should be arrested. Just for that. Just for that alone. I'm like, whoa. We need to see who you are. Because you might be out there throwing bricks at us, eggs at us, and stuff like that. But yet, if ICE wrap their faces up, all of a sudden, these folks are the brown shirts and all of that. Look at this. Unbelievable.
Good morning to you. Thank you for being here. I do.
Now, y'all see Butterneck? Y'all see Bathroom Booker right here? Let's see what bug-eyed Booker got to say about this.
Do have to start with President Trump saying he plans to deploy the National Guard to Los Angeles to deal with the protesters there. The president bypassing the governor and federalizing the Guard himself. He says he did so because Governor Gavin Newsom and LA Mayor Karen Bass refused to act against the unrest. What is your response to President Trump's decision to deploy the National Guard?
He did the right thing. These people are out of control. They're anarchists. And they're attacking our wonderful, brave men and women and ICE and all of this stuff. That's what he's going to say?
The reality is we see peaceful protests launching in Los Angeles. And again, any violence against police officers should not be accepted. Local authorities can handle that.
Local authorities can handle that. No, well, how are they going to handle that when they're not allowed to handle it? when, the LA mayor and governor and all of them are encouraging this type of stuff right here. Yeah, they're not trying to put a stop to all of this mess. Liberal entities done sent these folks out there. Some type of agency has unleashed these knuckleheads to go out there and do that. So that would be counterproductive. You want ICE to be intimidated by all of these crazy leftists so they don't go into y'all radical cities and start taking these people out of here. You want to go ahead and make ICE say, forget it, it ain't worth it. Let's go somewhere where that state or that city wants to go ahead and vomit up all the illegal immigrants. Forget that. If these folks want them, let them have them. It's too much of a risk, and we don't get the support we need on the ground. Let's just go ahead and give up. But no, it ain't gonna be like that with Tom the Hammer Holman. He's willing to come in and confront all of this nonsense while Bathroom Booker is trying to pretend that it's not because of these radical protesters, these illegal immigrants that are being deported rightfully, and all of these released crazy behind radical protesters are committing violence. No, it's not because of that. It's because Trump are separating families. That's what it is.
We see peaceful protests launching in Los Angeles.
Meanwhile,
well, that looks pretty peaceful. It's a barn fire. It's a barn fire. Don't worry, guys. 1, 2, 3 cars. 3 cars. Blah, blah. 1, 2, 3 cars. 4 cars burning. Look at that guy going to work. There it is. You see that guy going to work? Now, right there, I'm hoping the FBI is zooming in. Zooming in. Like, all right, you see those sneakers right there? Let's track those sneakers. Let's go ahead and find out who would be wearing those sneakers. I want this guy arrested as he's sitting here breaking this window right here. Unbelievable, but peaceful. Peaceful. It's mostly peaceful. This is pathetic. This right here, this is the stuff that burns me up, man. This is the stuff that makes me want to say, you know what, let's just divorce these S-hole ran states. These states that want to act like they're not a part of the United States and want to defy federal law, immigration law. Let's just say, man, y'all go off on your own. Hit it with the I'll be sure. Gotta get off on your own, Cali. You gotta get off on your own. You got to get off on your own. Yeah. Get off on your own. Yeah, if y'all want your country to run like some type of third world country, burning down, homelessness, all the drug addiction with dookie maps to navigate people around stepping in human feces, go right ahead. Everybody else that got common sense, move inland and let Cali go ahead and go the way that they will with all of this stupidity. So now this is California, guys. And, only reason I say we got to go ahead and try to hold down the fort is because I'm sure there are some folks out there that said, we need help. I didn't ask for this. I didn't support this. All right. So don't just abandon us, federal government, for the sake of all of us folks that got enough sense to say, this is crazy. Help us. That's the only reason. I'm just not going to say we should just straight abandon California all the way.
But remember, a lot of these peaceful protests are being generated because the president of the United States is sowing chaos and confusion by arresting people.
That's right. Flip the script. So it gives all of these people the green light to do this. Because the president of the United States is sowing chaos and stuff. He's rightfully arresting illegal immigrants. But yet, remember, guys, these are the same folks who whined and went crazy when it came down to J6 and the so-called brave men and women out there behind that bicycle gate, when Bigfoot Ray Epps was out there telling people, we got to go run on the car. I'll say it. I might go to jail for it, but I'll say it. Tomorrow, we got to go into the car. Peacefully. And then they start doing a little tug of war on the bike rack. And then those cops just fell down gently. Oh, God, I've fallen and I can't get up. Roger that. Yeah, they were all concerned about those brave men. Then they brought all those police officers in. The Green Mile guy, I was so scared. They were so calling me all kind of names. And they brought Eric Estrada in, they brought all of those guys in. They talk about how those police officers suffer psychological, mental, and emotional damage and stuff like that. And they tout that all the time, lying about all the cops that were killed that day. Killed that day, y'all. But now all of a sudden, the cops are the bad guys in this case. Yeah, the cops are the agitators in this case. The cops don't need defending. They don't need that in this application because the cops are the one who's, agitating all these people. Forget the fact that I got footage of J6 when the crowd was peaceful and a police officer took a flashbang out of nowhere, looked around like this and tossed it right in the middle of that peaceful crowd. Boom! And the crowd just went nuts. And yet they're talking about these people up here in LA, the folks are agitating all of these people. They're agitating them. And I'm going, okay, so by arresting illegal immigrants, that makes, which I assume most of these people who are fighting for these illegal immigrants are perhaps citizens. So that makes law-abiding citizens say, I got to get involved with this. Yeah, I love illegal immigrants so much, I got to go down there and try to stop this from happening. No, I think these people are paid. I think these people are, a part of some type of nonprofit or whatever that gives them some type of incentive or compensation for going down there and doing this. Nobody is that excited to save illegal immigrants from being deported when you ain't got nothing to do with this. Yeah, you run all the risk of getting thrown in the slammer and all for nothing just because you just love these people. Something's behind all of this, y'all. And notice the same type of characters show up. I mean, this is their MO from back when Trump first got elected all the way to now. They all come with their bicycle helmets on, their motorcycle helmets. They come with their mask covered, all black. Same MO. Young, throwing stuff, Molotov cocktails and breaking stuff. They all look like Antifians. Let's continue. Yeah, but that's a mostly peaceful fire. Look at that. Look at that. They're still throwing stuff right off the side of the bridge on these cop cars. What if one of those bricks fall on a cop's head? At what point do you just fire tear gas into that whole crowd right there? If we can't tell who's doing what, who's a part of what, but I know bricks are coming my way, what point do we just fire some foop tear gas right into that crowd? Since they all want to hover around there and like the true terrorists that they are, blend in with all the people, hoping that, hey, they can't just single me out. They can't just fire tear gas into the whole crowd because I'm hiding amongst a bunch of people like terrorists do. See, they don't want to isolate themselves. No. Let's blend in with the crowd to make it more difficult for me to be singled out when it comes down to me launching projectiles at the police. This is crazy to me, man. But it starts with the leadership. Look at that. Yeah, little firebomb down there. Now, that's the image of the age. That's California right there. Houston, Cali has fallen. How dare you get up there with no shirt on, a mask? Wait, whoa. We want to know who this guy is right there. Yeah, that we want to know who he is. Since they demand that ICE reveal their faces, where's Cory Booker? Where is dang on Hawker Jeffries as they talk about every ICE agent? We want to see who's behind the mask. Why don't they want to know who that guy is right there standing on top of that police car with that Mexican flag as an image of Mexico, I guess, conquering the United States, or at least California. So apparently now, California now has been conquered by Mexico. I mean, the mayor should be offended, but she's not. She's encouraging this. Gavin Newsom should be offended, but he's not. He's encouraging this. And that man feels 100% confident that nothing's going to happen to him because I'm in California. So I could go ahead and stand on government property, the police car with the Mexican flag to show that, yep, Our goal and agenda has been accomplished. We now run LA.
I'd love to get your response to Governor Newsom saying, essentially, that your actions here are provocative, and the quote that he used was sowing chaos.
Yeah. You guys made this happen. You guys forced all these illegal immigrants to come into our country illegally, and then when we have to get them out, all of a sudden now, we're provoking. We're provoking what? All the rest of the Californians? Has anybody actually asked the folks that really live there, not these anarchists and not these violent folks that's being paid to, act a fool? Has anybody asked them, is it okay that we go ahead and get these folks out of your state and your city? Now, they don't want to know that. Yeah, they just want to go ahead and pretend that all of the Californians, they feel this way. Then this crowd of agitators should be bigger. If that's the case, we should see all of Los Angeles out there saying, nah, man, we're down here to stop y'all from taking away. No, this is a decent, small size. I would say decent when it comes down to agitators, but small relative to all of California or all of LA. So apparently this is a group of people who are being brought out for this time and this moment only. I don't know if these are just regular Californians that's going about their everyday job. Here I am, I work at Chick-fil-A. What? They're deporting our illegal immigrants. That's it. Boss, I need today off to go down there and start throwing fire stuff at the police cars and stuff. No, I think this is their job. This group of people who's down there doing that. So now they're asking Tom the Hammer Holman, are you guys responsible for causing all of these people to start the vandalizing and tearing up stuff?
The Governor Newsom's an embarrassment for the state. He's the one that's feeding this mantra. He supports sanctuary cities. He supports sanctuary laws. If he cared about public safety in the state of California, he would not have a sanctuary for criminals, where criminals get released to the streets of this state every day because of his policy.
Bam!
Get your hands off these poor people. They're just trying to live their lives, man.
Now you hear this crap? Now you hear it? There it is. That's the Gavin Newsom we all know and love right there. Yeah, man, that's the real one right there. See, all of that stuff he was talking about on this little podcast, trying to pretend to be a moderate. Now, here's the slime bag we all know and love right there. There's the douchebag. There's the snake. That get the hands off of these people. They're just trying to live their lives. That's all it is, y'all. Let them go ahead and continue to break our laws. Yeah, forget. Just ignore all of that. No matter what your crime is, just leave these people be. Why don't we apply this to all criminals then? There you go. There it is. Let's just have a country of just chaos. So all of those people who've been doing the smash and grabs out there in California, they're just trying to live their lives too. Yeah, because that's how you treat them. That's what encourages them to continue to do it. Because y'all just treat them like, get your hands off these young adults who are just violating our laws and going in and stealing all this stuff out the stores and running home. They're just trying to live their lives. So if you're a criminal who's just trying to live your life by, breaking laws and stuff and stealing and robbing or just coming across the border illegally, make it to California because that's their approach. Leave these people alone, regardless of what they've done. They're just trying to live their lives, y'all. So now he's going to try to act like he's a martyr too.
Trying to live their lives, paying their taxes, been here 10 years. The fear, the horror. The hell is this guy?
The acting. Yeah, there it is. The fear, the horror, the agony, the pain. Spock. Who you, Captain Kirk?
Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with.
Then let's do it. Let's do it. They need to throw the handcuffs on this dude right there because you're harboring criminals. Nuisance.
Tough guy. I don't give a damn. But I care about my community. I care about this community. The hell are they doing? These guys need to grow up. They need to stop. And we need to push back. And I'm sorry to be so clear, but that kind of bloviating is exhausting. Oh, so, Tom, arrest me.
Is there?
I almost. Ooh. Oh, boy. Don't do it. Easy, big guy. The sun is going down. The sun is going down. Let's continue.
Everyone that has been arrested by ICE agents have a criminal record like those you described?
Absolutely not. And I said from day one, January 20th, we will prioritize public safety threats and national security threats. However, we will enforce law. I may prioritize my family life over my work. Doesn't mean I ignore my work. We're going to enforce immigration law. We've been honest about that from day one, especially in sanctuary cities. Well, we can't get the bad guy in the safety and security of a jail. They release him to the street. Well, we got to go to the street and find them.
Are Democrats?
Yeah, you hear that? You hear that from the hammer? You think the hammer's backing down? You think the hammer is softening up? No. Yeah, he went and got a bigger sledgehammer. The more these folks act up, the bigger the sledgehammer is.
Out of touch on this issue?
Oh, yes, they are.
Well, I think if you did the polling in Los Angeles, I'm not sure it would be that way.
So basically, if you do the polling in crazy town, boom, ba-doom, won't you take me to boom, ba-doom, crazy town? Yeah, and I question, if you did a true poll in California, should illegal immigrants in Los Angeles be deported? My gut tells me it'll be a little closer than you think. But nonetheless, they want us to think that all the Californians are out there in the street saying, leave our precious illegal immigrants alone.
Considering we are a city of immigrants.
I hate when they say that. I cannot stand when they say that. That would mean that you're not really an American city. If you're a city of immigrants that are not supposed to be here, that means you are part of a whole nother country, if that's the case. How did y'all get here? How did you become a full-blown city of immigrants? Everybody's an immigrant? See how they try to conflate, the two? They try to make it seem like, oh yeah, whether you're legal or illegal, it doesn't matter. We're all one. We're all one. We all got to stick together. And I'm going, no, wait a minute. That's not true. You need to go ahead and decipher between the American citizens and the illegal immigrants. But no, you want to go ahead and date back beyond the time when America was a real country and all of that stuff. That we're all immigrants at some point. I mean, you go through our lineage, you'll find that somehow your ancestors got here to the country and they're all immigrants. And they try to use that bullshit like that to make people get on board and feel connected with all these illegal immigrants by talking about something that we're all immigrants now. You all know that. No. Don't throw me in there. I'm an American. I'm not an immigrant. I was born here. You idiot. Now take that afro of yours and do something with it.
People might approve that policy, but do people really approve the federal government coming in and seizing power from a state and from a city? So I drilled down a little further on that poll because I do not believe that Americans support the federal intervention in a city takeover or a state takeover.
Good breaking news now from the Pentagon. CNN can now report that roughly 500 Marines are being mobilized in response to the protests.
The hammer's getting bigger. Now we got to send in the Marines. Y'all brought this on yourselves, Cali, because y'all don't want to do nothing about it. So let's continue.
Los Angeles.
And this is a significant escalation from President Trump, who had activated National Guard troops over the weekend without Governor Gavin Newsom's consent. In this new move, active duty military members are being deployed as a show of force against U.S. citizens.
Oh, shoot. It's getting physical, y'all. Look at this. Remember this 2020 when they try to tell us that, oh, man, you know what? It's Trump and all of them, and this the people on the right are the violent ones. Remember this show?
Why is this uptick in crime happening? Well, let's think about it. Do we think this has to do with the fact that there's record unemployment in the United States right now?
No.
The fact that people are at a level of economic desperation that we have not seen since the Great Recession?
No.
Maybe this has to do with the fact that people aren't paying their rent and are scared to pay their rent. And
No.
so they go out and they need to feed their child and they don't have money. So you maybe have to, they're put in a position where they feel like they either need to shoplift some bread.
Now, you see, the left have always been making excuses for this type of mess, this type of violence. They never come out and say it's because of these folks that are in charge of their own brain that's going out and doing this craziness. These folks right here are the violent ones because they're making their own choices. But nope, according to her, nah.
Or go hungry that night.
As we take a live look now at downtown Los Angeles, looks like a store is being looted. This looks like a sneaker store, and it wouldn't be the first time. This looks very familiar. We were over this a few years ago during demonstrations. And
don't worry though, those sneakers are filled with loaves of bread. Yeah, inside of those sneakers are canned foods and things like that. Because surely all of these folks wouldn't be taking advantage of this craziness that's going on out there to loot and steal. If these folks are looting and stealing for the illegal immigrants, that's what they're doing. Or are they just taking advantage of Democrats already encouraging folks to become anarchists? So they're like, well, shoot, I don't know nothing about no illegal immigrants, but I do know something about some sneakers that I want. But maybe they're stealing loaves of bread inside of the Nike store, wherever this is at.
Protests in the wake of the murder of George Floyd. And this looks like to me to be the same store that was looted then.
Same store.
And maybe being looted again. You saw somebody
running it
into
back.
that store. It's 10:27 on a Saturday night. I don't know whether that store was open or not, but it doesn't look good. And we will see what is happening here. People going up and going in, and we'll see if that is in fact happening.
They're putting up.
I don't see how you live in a Democrat-ran SO city like this. This is unbelievable. You might as well just be every man for himself. Go back to the feudal system. Just what is it? Yeah, I think it's called feudal. Federal. Wait, I forget. Oh man, I forgot the term of it. But when every man was for himself.
A position where they feel like they either need to shoplift some bread.
They're stealing sneakers, and they're going to be selling them, and they're being
sneaker bread. Sneaker bread. That's what that is. Oh, look at this. That's the California way right there, baby. Now, just say it. Remember, Gavin Newsom says, man, these people are just trying to survive. Let them be. Leave them alone, y'all. Let them do this so they can keep coming back. Look at this. This is what California produces. You see the same behavior not only in Cali, but also in Chicago, too. What do they have in common? S-hole ran Democrats.
He said, how do you know that? He's got locked this joint.
Face is covered.
Oh, they're wild. The guys go to the cash register? Yeah, boys!
They're fighting against deportation.
And they need to feed their child, and they don't have money.
I was right. Feudal system. Thank you very much. Ha ha. Yeah, I knew it. I still retain a couple brain cells from teaching. All right, here we go. Let's continue. Look at that.
Later that night.
Yeah. So I guess they're all at home eating those tennis shoes. That's what it is. Now those kids are finally able to eat some of those whatever they stole right there. That's California. Los Angeles, y'all.
What's your message to the people that are out there protesting for the rights of immigrants? You want to see those protesters continue to be out on the street and protest these actions by the government?
I just want them to be safe.
I just want them to be safe.
And I want folks to know that are thinking about going out there, just be safe.
Just be safe when you're stealing sneakers and burning up stuff and firebombing police cars and stuff like that. Just be safe, okay? Yeah, because you know that most likely you're not going to catch a bullet in your butt. That's what it is. Unbelievable.
Of course I support them. Protests are the foundation of this democracy. It's what makes this country great. And that needs to persist.
Well, there it is. Persistence. Just be safe. What about the police, though? You want them to be safe? Look at
I just want them to be safe.
What about us?
What about y'all?
What if...
Yeah, we don't care nothing about y'all. Look at this last call. Right? Bam! You see that? Bam! Right on the windshield. The driver's side. Look at that. I mean, that couldn't possibly go through the windshield and kill somebody. There was a dude in Youngstown when he was a kid, was throwing bricks over that overpass, went right through and killed a lady's child. Brick went right through the window, hit the baby in the thing and killed him. But yep, there you go. That's what's happening right there.
I just want them to be safe.
What about us? What if...
I don't give a damn.
There you go. There you go. Look at that. Burn, Cali, burn. Burn, Cali, burn. It's on fire. Burn, Cali, burn. All right, for the sake of time, since you already know that California right now has fallen, let's move right here And a little further, look at that. We got the, okay, yeah. Folks getting ran over. And I mean, it's just crazy out there. There you go, chasing cars around, dumpsters on fire. But wait a minute. Before we get out of here, y'all. Look who they done activated.
Are you going to shoot a protester because you don't like what they're saying?
Y'all see that? They said this is one of those moments where we need to bring out the heavy hitters. Somebody go get Leatherface. Somebody go get Weezy Jefferson. Somebody go get James Brown's face. There you go. So Mad Max should have been minding her business in her own district, but she needs a soundbite. So she had the nerve to come out there because she's coming to make sure that nothing's going on, and Donald Trump with all of his racism. So let's see what she got to say. Are you going to shoot me? Put the camera in his face. Yeah, tell everybody who you are. Let's see what she got to say, y'all.
Here we go.
Why the guns? Why are these guns here? That's my question. I don't get why the guns have to be here.
Yeah, you don't get why the guns have to be here. I want to know, why is that gun pointed at, Ashley Babbitt? That's what I want to know. Why was that gun pointed at her? It was unnecessary. All she was doing was climbing through a window unarmed, but she got shot. Whereas these folks have to make sure that they can protect themselves from projectiles being thrown at them. That seems to be a little more concerning than somebody just climbing through a window. We're actually being forced to climb through a window because of the craziness that was going on. But Mad Max is acting like, these folks don't have any legitimate reason to have guns. So you want to send out all the National Guard without weapons?
We're a sanctuary city. We know Trump doesn't like us. We know that he's going to try to use us as an example. He's going to try to go to us so that he has a martial law.
He's trying to go that so he can have a martial law. No, you're down there for a photo shoot. You want to get involved. And what does it look like? It looks like the Democrats, as always, are willing to come to the rescue of illegal immigrants. They don't learn. They're still thinking this is an issue that they want to die on, the heel of. And I'm going, you big old dummy. Yeah, I don't even understand how this woman is still in business, man, to be honest with you.
He even alluded to civil war at one point.
Oh, God.
Talking about this issue.
And headset.
Now you hear that? Have you been ordered to shoot? Tell me yes or no. Now, they're not ordered to talk to you. Just sit there and let this chick get in your face, because she's no different than the agitators. She's just an agitator that happened to be a public servant. Have you been ordered to shoot? Tell me yes or no. Are you going to shoot me? Huh? Why don't you go ahead and hit me with that? Just stupid stuff like that. Makes you want to just take the back of that mug and give her one to the chops. Be like, man, I thought it was a bear trying to attack me. I thought this was a barracuda. I thought, how could anybody mistake this person for a human? You see how ugly this woman is? I thought I was being attacked by a dang on possum or something was trying to bite me. Are you ordered to shoot?
He hates sanctuary cities. He's going to try and make an example out of us. Someone that's in charge, that can, an elected official has a right.
See, these elected, she's an elected official for nothing. For nothing. Elected official for, you know what? I'm here to snoop around and get a sound bite and try to make some unbelievable. So here she goes, y'all. Mad Max is on the loose.
Go into to check out what's going on.
She want to go in and see what's happening.
You know, anybody?
A few minutes later.
Here we go.
No, I want you to. Hello.
Hello.
Congresswoman Waters. I just came to use my congressional.
Now that's what she want. No, that's what she came for. You see that, y'all? That's what ugly face came for. That's what Sharpay face looking came for. You know what a Sharpay is? That Chinese doll with all them wrinkles. Yeah, you see what Halloween mask face has come for. She didn't come to find out what's really going on. She want those cameras right there. But guess what? She want it. She got it. Baby, if you give it to me, I'll give it to you. I know what you want. You know I got it. Because that's what she came for. She want a Photoshop shoot, rather. So here it is. This is what she's going to be remembered for. Right?
I got it. Check my business.
Ma'am, our lobby securely now to all visitors.
Excuse me, I need to get in.
Contact our public affairs.
I need to get in.
Oh!
Hey, man, careful with that. Go back. Rewind it. Stop. All visitors.
Excuse me, I need to get in. I need to get in.
Bam! Hello, darkness, my old friend. Boy, I wish that was me right there. I wouldn't have just closed it with force. I would have double armed it. I would have slammed that mug like I was spinning that wheel on a Price is Right, y'all. The full body and hoping that that door smashed that Halloween mask face right there. Knocked that wig off and everything. I would have gave it everything I got on that slam right there. You'd have heard me growling. I sound like the guy is they're turning into something. So now, she's rejected like she should be.
It's so nice to watch.
It is so nice to watch.
So there's unrest. Let's start with there's protest, lawful protest, which is allowed in this country. There is some unrest, generally dealt with by local law enforcement, and if there needs to be state support through state police, and sometimes even National Guard under a governor's authority. What is happening tonight is unprecedented.
12 seconds later.
Yeah.
We've been seeing the Mexican flag, and some of these people, look, you lose. Some of them taking photos in front.
The president is right now. He's cage side at a UFC fight. This is the popular mixed martial arts.
Now, y'all hear this? Y'all hear little Brian Stelter? Now listen to little Brian Stelter. Let me see something here. Let's go ahead, because this is going to close us out, y'all. Little Brian Stelter right here has the nerve
we have
to give his take on what's going on. Now, you want to see some propaganda?
Phenomenon. This is the second time he's been to a UFC fight since taking office again.
What's that got to do with anything? You see this? This guy gets fired for being a propagandist, and he's back to do just that. They brought him back for some more propaganda. So now watch him try to, of course, trash the president while defending this nonsense.
He has the popular mixed martial arts phenomenon. This is the second time he's been to a UFC fight since taking office again.
So you're trying to connect the UFC fight to what's going on out in California for some reason now? I don't understand. What's your point, little open stadium up top? He's still rocking that open stadium. Somebody need to tell him the Bozo the Clown look is not slamming right now. Get rid of that mess. They ain't going to. Least faded up enough to where it's not so distinct, but he want that open stadium on display. Let's continue.
He also attended one at Madison Square Garden last fall. So this is one of the president's favorite sports. It's a combat sport. It's, of course, all about fighting. It's incredibly violent, also incredibly popular. It gets a lot of money for his friend Dana White, who runs it.
And you don't see the propaganda in this? Gets a lot of money for his friend Dana White. He gets a lot of money. And it's violent, though. It's violent. What are you trying to insinuate? Just throwing a whole bunch of innuendos in there, just little comments, little jabs, unnecessary stuff to the story, just to try to somehow make a connection that's not really there.
The UFC and the parallelism here, the symbolism is
let's see the parallelism, the symbolism that you're just coming up with.
So striking. The president was at his golf club in Bedminster earlier today, maybe watching pictures of the very scattered, very isolated episodes of unrest around Los Angeles. And
the very scattered, the very isolated incidents of unrest around California. Now see, they're doing it again, guys. They're doing it again. They're pretending that we don't see what's going on. There is footage for days for us to see and say they're acting a fool out there. They're wilding out. But according to Little Brian Stelter, is just very isolated, and there's not very many of these things out there. I'm sorry, I'm not hot up. It's very little, isolated. So let's finish hearing him try to make excuses for all of that violence. And Trump, for some reason, is scouring through his videos like, all right, let's just find. I can't find any. Man, I went through like 8 videos before I could come to at least one with violence. Or could it be you could just throw a rock on the internet and find a video of what's going on out there? Because he's making it seem like we're stretching it. We're having a hard time finding isolated and far in between videos of violence out there. That's what he's trying to make it seem like. When in reality, if y'all would do your job, CNN, and report the news, you would find it all too. It's easy. If you go out there with a camera and just pan around, you'll film violence on every end. Let's continue.
And then on the way to this UFC match, we learn about this order for the National Guard. So you have him attending a fight on the East Coast while potentially stoking a fight on the West Coast.
While potentially stoking a fight on the West Coast. Do you see the connections they're trying? I can't even believe they allowed this dude to get out there and push this propaganda. To make this connection. You know how dumb you got to be as a viewer watching and listening to this fool talk about, yeah, there's a connection somehow between this. On one end, you know, you got him going to this UFC fight, the violence up there on the East Coast. And then on the other end, he might be stoking violence out there in LA. Who knows? Who knows? You see, can you make that leap? No. There is no connection whatsoever. But listen to this fool try to shove this square into a circle.
Inciting what he calls riots and looters, even though from all that we've seen, from the visual evidence, what has happened has been very sporadic.
What? Which he calls violence and looters, which all the evidence we've seen. Now, once again, CNN, fake news. So now, according to Brian, y'all, we're having a hard time finding videos of looting and violence and all of that stuff. Yeah, according to him, there's a few just here and there, because remember, these are mostly peaceful protests.
It is notable how Trump has been very present about this on social media this evening, posting on Truth Social, posting on X, literally interspersing images of him walking out of the UFC fight with his messaging about California. And so that's going to give even more grist to critics who say he is trying to stoke conflict.
No, that's you coming up with something. Critics aren't saying that, Brian. You're saying it. It's amazing how they pretend that they're just reciting what critics are saying. There it is. This might give more grift to critics who are saying that he might be. No, you're trying to say this and you're using the lie that critics are saying it. That's what's really going on, Brian Stelter.
Trying to cause actual fighting on the way.
Yeah, so y'all want to run cover for all of this violence. Y'all want to run cover for all of these folks that are looting and burning down the city, and all of these mayors and all of these advocates that are supporting this mess. Y'all want to run cover for them by saying Trump and his over-aggression towards these regular, American citizens, I guess, who were minding their business, and Trump just sent in ICE to deport American citizens, gentle woodland creatures. Yeah, he's the one who has caused these folks to go from just being regular peaceful protesters and right into being violent looters and stuff like this. Now, understand how ridiculous this sounds. You're telling me then that ICE simply wants to deport these illegal immigrants out of the country. But for some reason, though, in the midst of that, what did ICE do to provoke these people from going from holding signs up and being peaceful protesters to throwing projectiles at the cars, burning the cars and stuff like that? Did ICE do that? Did Trump tell ICE, look, don't just simply deport these people? No, I want y'all to stop, maybe give the finger at these people. Stop, shoot a couple, tear gas bombs out there into the audience. I want you to rile the people up. ICE never did any of this. So I need to know what they're talking about when they're saying Trump is ramping all of this up and antagonizing these people by simply picking people up off the streets and stuff like that. No, they're going and they are deporting illegal immigrants that are supposed to be taken away. And in the midst of that, these people are trying to stop them by any means necessary. Not once did I see ICE just pick a fight where there was no fight. They're just simply doing their business. And then all of a sudden, bing, stuff getting hit, the cars getting hit and all of this stuff. So Trump has nothing to do with this, but they're trying to pretend that Trump has given some type of order for them to provoke a response that has caused now all of these folks that are being violent to react. It doesn't even make rational sense. But yet they're just throwing out these lies.
West Coast, Brian.
And Brian, you mentioned social media there and the president being pretty active on it. What is the response from other corners of social media to this new deployment?
Well, there's two things that stand out to me. Number one, just the sheer volume, the number of social media videos. You know, we've seen this in recent years. It's only becoming more prominent that virtually everybody who shows up at these protests is holding a camera phone, is wanting to document it for himself or herself. And so we're able to see it from every angle. And that is helpful in multiple ways. You know, we have seen today FBI officials, for example, point to social media videos and say that they see isolated individuals throwing rocks at police cars, at Border Patrol cars.
Isolated individuals. You hear that?
And of course, FBI Director CASHAPP and others saying that those people will be found and will be held accountable. So those videos are in some cases helping law enforcement to track down. Number two, it is notable how many California Democrats are trying to bring the temperature down.
What? Which ones? Yeah, if they would try to bring the temperature down, they would tell whoever is funding all of these radical protesters to stop it. Call off the dogs. You're making us look bad. You're giving the Republicans more leverage to say it's the radical, crazy behind left that is the violent people. Yeah. So now I want to see one Democrat politician who is not after like Gavin Newsom. I just want people to be safe. And of course, I encourage more protesting.
Trying to bring the volume down. That's California Governor Gavin Newsom saying, hey, they want a spectacle, don't give them one. Or it's Congressman Ted Lieu saying this is purposely inflammatory by the Trump administration.
Purposely inflammatory. How? By ICE doing their job is now inflammatory. Yeah, by doing your job pisses off all these, American citizens that just decided I'm about to go out there and become violent to stop, make sure that we keep these people here for a better life, so they can pick our fruit, wash our butts, stuff like that. Unbelievable.
You have California Attorney General Rob Bonta saying there is no actual emergency in California. So yes, there are those isolated video clips that are being cited by the FBI director.
And watch Brian Stelter's dismount.
By other officials. But for the most part, you have California Democrats saying, hey, it's the Trump administration that's trying to be inflammatory here. Don't fall for it. I know some other senators as well. Democratic Senator Brian Schatz calling this, quote, authoritarian madness. And again, saying Trump wants the visual spectacle. He's going to want to see members of the military on the streets in LA. We do know the president of...
Yeah, that's what it is. Trump just wanted to see military on the streets of LA because he's a dictator. So whenever we act a fool and don't put a stop to this, and Trump has to send in the military to do it because you guys don't want that, then all of a sudden now y'all use the other narrative that Trump's an authoritative dictator. Look at him. He's sending in the military as a show of force. He's just doing this. Unreal, these people and this propaganda right here.
Of course, a former reality show star. He thinks in terms of those visuals. He thinks in terms of the pictures that he can create. So you have to wonder about whether that's a factor in this particular situation. I would also call out the number of scholars, folks who have studied authoritarianism in other countries. People like Ruth Ben-Ghiat, author of the book.
Look at that. Do you see this cat? Bringing in some scholars from the other things. They studied authoritarianism and other... And I'm going, so how did this now become an issue of authoritarian dictators? How did this become that? You're making it. You want your audience to think that Trump's the bad guy. These very isolated and few in between, those spurts out there, mostly all peaceful. And then when they do become violent, it's not their faults. It's Trump's fault for inciting this. And he's doing it so he can send in a National Guard so he can look like a dictator. And now to back up my raggedy behind narrative and claims, I'm going to cite these liberal propagandist writers and try to make it seem like, yep, according to these writers, Trump, he fits the mold of a authoritative dictator.
Man who says fake emergencies to justify crackdowns has a long history around the world. So you have a number.
You mean like the Democrats with the COVID crackdowns? You mean like that, right? To justify lockdowns and stuff like that, force people out of jobs, things like that.
number of scholars who believe has echoes to undemocratic countries in other parts of the world. But like I said, for now, notable how California officials are using social media to try to lower the volume and cool temperatures right now, Brian.
Unbelievable. Now that is some propaganda for you right there, y'all. That man was contorting himself in every direction to try to make this whole narrative stick. He started off with Trump as at the UFC. You can see there's the UFC, and then it's California. See, you make the connection. Violence over here, and he wants violence over there. He's stoking the violence right there. And there's been scholars say that he's authoritative type tactics. And don't forget, the Democrats are pretending to try to say to cool the temperature. But Trump, he doesn't want that. He doesn't want that. He wants the image, and now he used to be a reality TV star, and that could be contributing to the images that he wants. And I'm going, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. They sent this propaganda out there. He hasn't learned this lesson. Yeah, man. I hope he gets fired again, twice. Give him double for his trouble for all of these lies and propaganda that he's continuing to spew. So God bless y'all. God bless America. God bless California, because, boy, I tell you, They gonna need it. They need some help out there, y'all. Man, starting with voting out these raggedy leaders. So I'm going to be back here tomorrow. Got to cover some more stuff, y'all. So many things to talk about. So make sure on your way out, you hit the like button, share my videos, follow me on all the other social media platforms. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Make sure you set your notifications to all. And we'll see y'all tomorrow night. Don't forget, if you want to help out the channel, you can do that through my Cash App, my PayPal link, and all those things too. All right, God bless you. See y'all tomorrow on Kevin's Corner. Take care.